Turning now to Storm Watch 12, meteorologist Josh Colbert looking at some of the impacts that we're seeing weather-wise this morning, and one of them happens to be visibility for some parts of our region. So who's being affected? How bad is it this morning?
It's not as bad as we've seen it before, but we're still seeing some pretty big time reductions in visibility over in the Great Basin and also in the Grants Pass area. So within those respective areas, you got to take it slow on the roadways this morning, and you got to use the low beams. Current temperatures this morning inland, we are below freezing. Primarily, we're a little bit above freezing for Medford and Grants Pass, but I think most of us will deal with some form of ice on the windshield this morning. So take a couple extra minutes this morning because of that. See on the satellite and radar picture this next storm system approaching, and it's going to be pretty similar to the storm system that we had for yesterday. It's going to start to become a little bit more widespread by the time we get to midday, spreading inland into the afternoon and evening, and then after that it peters out just like the storm system for yesterday. But then we're tracking another storm system for Wednesday. This is going to be an atmospheric river, and this one will not peter out. It'll arrive from the south by the time we get to the early morning, spreading northward. And it is going to be widespread rain and snow all throughout the day on Wednesday and then into the bulk of Thursday as well. So here's some of those rainfall projections for today through Wednesday night. And so this is not the complete picture for that next storm system, i.e. the atmospheric river, but just through Wednesday, we'd have upwards of 2.5 inches of rain for the Mount Shasta area. And definitely some less impressive totals to the east of the Cascades and within some of our west side valleys. Now for today, snow levels are going to be between 3,000 to 4,000 feet. And then as the atmospheric river approaches from the south on Wednesday, they're going to raise from around 3,000 feet up to 5,000 feet. So a little bit warmer compared to today. So we're going to see the biggest impacts down in southern Siskiyou County, specifically towards Black Butte Pass and Snowman Summit. And then secondary to that will be up in the Cascades, Crater Lake, Diamond Lake, getting anywhere between 6 to 12 inches of snow. And maybe a couple inches for Lakeview, maybe Klamath Falls could get an inch, a couple inches for Siskiyou Summit. But definitely these snowfall totals pale in comparison to some of the snowfall totals we saw for last week. But again, just like with the rainfall totals, that is not a complete picture because those projections only go through Wednesday, and we're expecting additional precipitation for Thursday. So because of that, travel impacts, moderate travel impacts all throughout the week, not only because of some of the rainfall and the snowfall we'll see, but also because of some of these wind gusts. We have a high wind watch in place for the Shasta Valley, for the coast, and also for the Great Basin. And this runs from Wednesday afternoon to Thursday afternoon. Some of those wind gusts could be upwards of 75 miles per hour along the southern Oregon coastline. And then over on the east side, 50 to 60 miles per hour, 70 mile per hour wind gusts we're expecting for the Cascades, even maybe getting wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour for the Rogue Valley. So for today, that weaker storm system, snow levels between 3,000 to 4,000 feet, winds starting to pick up. They'll back off a little bit overnight. I think the storm system, like you saw in Stormcast, does fizzle out, but then we're tracking a high impact winter weather day for Wednesday and for Thursday. Talking snow levels between 3,000 to 5,000 feet, but the biggest impacts are going to be from the wind gust, i.e. the high wind watches that we have in place. So here's your 7-day forecast along the coast. Lots of windy conditions and wet weather over the next 7 days, so hunker down there in coastal Curry County. For Siskiyou County, we'll see some very windy conditions, especially in the Shasta Valley, specifically towards the Weed area, as we can have winds upwards of about 70 miles per hour. 50 to 60 mile per hour wind gust we'll expect for the Klamath Basin. Very wet, very wintry, just a parade of storm systems that we'll have throughout the next 7 days. So we're going to add to the snowpack in a big way, which is definitely going to be some very good news for reservoirs and then for the Rogue Valley. Even getting pretty gusty, like you saw on Wednesday into Thursday, 40 to 50 mile per hour wind gusts, but very wet, and all that continues right in the next week.
Okay, well, not really looking forward to that wind, but it's the time of the year where we expect to see precipitation. We definitely need it, so we're just going to have to kind of take what we can get at this point.
And I'm starting to lose track of time here a little bit. Also because it's near New Year's and time always gets warped around that time of the year anyway, but I think we're going on 3 or 4 weeks straight of some pretty active weather, which is very good for the drought. Yeah,
not a bad way to start the new year. Just unfortunate if you wanted to start the new year doing anything outside or doing anything in relatively warm weather.
Yeah, if you wanted some vitamin D,
not going to happen.
Maybe gotta wait till February. for
Maybe
that
next
one.
year.
Yeah,
Thank you, Josh.
of course.